All right, guys, so worksheet 11 is not graphing rational functions. Today we're solving rational equations. Can somebody hit the light switch closest to the phone for me? This section on the quiz next week will also have rational expressions. That's what was on the people puzzle, you know, where you're just simplifying. You know what I'm talking about? Like you have to factor. If it's divide, you flip one over. If it's add and subtract, you have to get a common denominator. But there was no solving because they have no equal signs. Okay, today's will have equal signs. So the questions on this section of the quiz, there'll be like 4 or 5 of them. There'll be an adding where you don't solve, or subtracting, and then a multiplying or dividing where you don't solve, and then 2 where you have to solve an equation. All right, so the idea is kind of like this, but trickier today. Do you remember these from the beginning of school year? Anybody? Some of you never did get the right idea that you want to get rid of the denominators by multiplying through by the least common denominator. What's the least common denominator in this first one? Yeah, this would be over 1, so 4 would be the least common denominator. So if I multiply everything by 4 on this side and on this side, I'd have 5 divided by 4 times 4 would just be 5. That one has an x. 4 times a half is what, guys? 2. Over here I'd have 4 times 2x would be 8x. And back here, half of 4 would be minus 2. And then you'd solve. I'm not going to go from there. Okay, what would the common denominator be over here? 10. So we'd multiply both sides by 10. So 10 times 3 divided by 2. What's that, guys? 15. 10 times 3 divided by 5. 6, and that would have an x. 10 times 9 divided by 2. And 10 times 4 divided by 5. Okay? But you understand that multiplying through by the least common denominator got rid of all of the denominators. Okay, so that's the plan today. But, come on, what's happening with my... Today the denominators are going to have x's in them. All right, so it says rational equations involve fractions can be solved by multiplying each term in the equation by the least common denominator. Always check your solutions at the end. Some may be extraneous. The only thing that's going to make them extraneous is if they make the denominator 0. So for this example right here that says x minus 8 over x minus 4 equals 11, what's the only thing I have to watch out for? X cannot equal what? 4, because it would make the denominator 0. Everybody good? So just watch at the end that that doesn't happen. So the only denominator in this problem was x minus 4. So we're going to multiply everything through by an x minus 4. So they did that here and here and here. So here we have to distribute and get x squared minus 4x. Here we have minus 8 over x minus 4. Well, the x minus 4s are going to cancel, so we're just going to get a minus 8. And on this side, we're going to have 11x minus 4. Did everybody see what I'm talking about, the dividing out? We had 8 over x minus 4 times x minus 4, so therefore the x minus 4 is divided away. All right, what's next? Say that again. Oh, it should be 44. Is that what? Yes, thank you. Good catch. Yeah, yes. Because it has a squared, I'm going to have to do quadratic or factoring or something. So I want to get it equal to 0. So what do I get on the whichever side you have it on? X squared minus 15x plus 36, is that right? Did someone get that? All right, my brain is not adding and subtracting this morning. That was a 44, that was really messy. Okay. Factors 12 and 3, is that right, guys? So we get a negative 15 and a positive 36. So we get x equals 12 or 3. We could go back and put them in if we wanted. Sometimes they're really complicated to put in. This one isn't too bad. We'd have 12 minus 8 over 12 minus 4 would be 8. So does that seem true? 12 minus 8 over 8, which would be 1, equals 11. That one's checking. If we put in a 3, we'd have 3 minus 8 over negative 1 equals 11. Well, this would become 3 plus 8 is 11. Those are both checking. Okay. What's not going to work, like I said, is if it makes the denominator 0. Otherwise, it should work, unless you made a mistake somewhere. All right, let's... Okay, apparently my mouse is dead. This one, the common denominator was more complicated. It had a 3, an x minus 2, a 6, and an x minus 2. So the common denominator would be a 6 and an x minus 2. So let me go down here and do it for you. I know it's done on your paper, but just watch. When I multiply this left side by 6 and x minus 2, what's going to happen, guys? Just tell me what to divide out here. The x minus 2's would divide out. The 3 would divide into 6 how many times? So we'd end up with a 2 and the x plus 1 that was on top. Okay, over on this one, the 6 divides out, and we have the 5x we started with and an x minus 2. We're going to have to distribute through there. And on this guy way back here, the x minus 2 divides out, and we get plus 6. Okay, which is their step right here. They distributed, moved everything over to one side, factored, found these two solutions after they factored. But what happened in the original function up here? What was the denominator? The restriction on the domain was what? X cannot equal 2. So when they got to the very end, okay, they saw that this would make the denominator 0, so they got rid of that one. So the only solution is 2/5. Now, you understand that plugging 2/5 back in this original one would be a mess, right? Okay, you're welcome to do it very carefully. It's a 0.4. If that would help, you'd need a bunch of parentheses, and it will check. But the big thing with extraneous solutions is just watch that they don't make the denominator 0. All right, so I won't spend more time on that one, and I will just keep trying to use my mouse. Hoffbauer, that's really going to help. All right, so this one's pretty easy. What's the denominator? Just m, right? So we're going to multiply through by an m to get rid of the denominators. We could move the 8 and 10 first, but I don't think it's going to matter. If I multiply m times 15 over m, and then I'm going to multiply this m by an m, and this 8 by an m, and this 10 by an m. I should have done this in different color. So here's what I'm multiplying through by. Everything gets an m. I'm multiplying both sides by m. Okay, what happens when I multiply m times 15 over m? Just 15. Here, m times m is m squared. On this side, I had an 8 times an m, and on this side, I had a 10 times an m. I like my squared term to be positive. Anybody else rather not deal with a negative m squared when you're trying to factor? So I think I'm going to move everything over to this side. So I'm going to add an m squared over here, take away 8m's, and take away 15. All right, so that all goes away, and I'll have an m squared plus 2m minus 15. Did anyone else get that? Did I make a sign mistake anywhere? Are we good? How does that factor? M plus 5 minus 3. Will that work? Gives me 2 and a minus 15. So the solutions are m could be what? -5 or +3. What is the only thing I can't have according to the original problem up here? There was an m in the denominator, so m can't be 0. So we're good. These both check. Can I skip checking them in the equation? As we're going to get more complicated here. Of course. Does somebody have a question? All right. Number 2. What's our common denominator going to have this time? Okay. If I multiply this one by a b minus 3, will it get rid of the b down there? No, I need what? B and a b minus 3 as my common denominator. All right, so I'm going to write b minus 3, b minus 3. And on this side, b minus 3. All right, then the original equation was 4 over b minus 3 plus 3 over b equals -2b over b minus 3. Students on these, I have to tell you, tend to think that if they don't show any work, it'll be fine. You tend to make mistakes and divide out things you shouldn't and lose b's and numbers. Just show the work. It's not that hard. Okay, what happens on this first term right here? The b minus 3 cancels and I end up with 4b. Yeah, b4 is fine, but it's all right. What happens on the second one? The b cancels, so I still have this, right? Can I distribute as I go? Will that mess you up, or do you want me to just... Is it okay if I distribute? 3b minus 9. Everybody good? All right, over here, what cancels on this side, or divides out? The b minus 3, so what do I end up with over here? Yeah, -2 and a b squared. All right, so if I add the 2b squared over here, that's supposed to say 2, sorry. I will have 2b squared plus 7b minus 9 equals 0. Well, that's lovely. Well, I know I have a 2b and a 1b to make a b squared. What do you want to try? 3 and 3, 9 and 1. Because this will give me 9b and 2b. And we need the 9 to be positive and the 2 to be negative, so that if I were to FOIL it back together, I'd have 2b squared plus 9b minus 2b minus 9. Seems okay? All right. So what are the two solutions we're getting right here? B equals, if you have 2b plus 9 equals 0, you'd have -9 over 2. And the other one would be +1. What are the restrictions on B from the very beginning of this question? Would have been up here that B cannot be 0 or 3. which we didn't get, so we're good. We got 2 solutions. Everybody good? All right. Ooh, they're trying to trick us. This factors how, guys? Y minus 2 and a y plus 2, right? So what is our common denominator going to have to be? Okay, y minus 2 and y plus 2. But is this the same as a y minus 2? No. Anybody know what we could do? Yeah, it's the opposite of a y minus 2, right? Anybody? Yeah, if we multiplied top and bottom by -1, that would make it better, right? So if we change the signs on this one or multiplied it by a -1, we'd have y minus 2. If we multiplied the top by a -1, we'd have this. Well, what could we do with this then? Yeah, it just got much nicer. All right, so my original problem has a 2 over y plus 2, and then it has plus a y over y minus 2. And then on this side, it has a y squared plus 4 that is over both a y minus 2 and a y plus 2. So what am I going to go back through and multiply everything by? A y minus 2 and a y plus 2, right? I don't know why I didn't space that out well at all. All right, I don't know if you can read that. So what happens when I multiply the first one over here by both of those things? And I have 2 times a y minus 2. I'll just wait and distribute later. And here the y minus 2 divides out, so I have a plus y times a y plus 2. And over here, yay, all this goes away and all we have is a y squared plus 4. I think we might only get one solution. What do you think? We distribute, we get 2y minus 4 plus y squared plus 2y equals y squared plus 4. Be careful. What happens? I want to cancel a whole bunch of stuff, but I think the only thing that actually cancels is what? If we just subtract those off, they're gone. Over here, 2y plus 2y on the same side would be a 4y. Since we don't have any squareds, we could add this term back over here. So we'd have equals 8. Anybody get in a y equals 2? Did I do something wrong or did you get y equals 2? Okay. Is that the answer? Go back to the original question. What were our restrictions on domain? Yeah, y cannot be 2 or -2. So what do we have here? No solution. Yep, good job. Kind of miserable, but does everybody get what happened? If we plug the 2 back in, it was going to make the denominator 0. All right. Number 4, what's the common denominator going to be here? So we have a 60 over x minus a 60 over x plus 3 and an equals 1. The common denominator will have to have both x and x plus 3, x and x plus 3, x and x plus 3. Okay. The thing to be careful of when it's minus is if you're distributing, you could distribute the negative everywhere. This one actually I don't think is going to be bad. You guys finish this one and see what you get? Anybody else getting that? Maybe do 15 and 12 make 180? Okay. I was like, well, you had a factor. 180 has a lot of factors. What were our domain restrictions? X could not be 0 or -3 from the beginning. I was trying to check these real fast. If you put in -15, I'd have -4. This would be -12. -60 divided by -12 would be +5. That one seems okay. If I put in a 12, I'd have 60 over 12 minus 60 over 15. This would be 5 minus 4 equals 1. They're both checking. Everybody good? All right. Is that the end of the fun ones? What did I just do? Oh, one more? Then we get to the word problem? Okay. What's the common denominator we're going to try on this one? Uh-oh. What does it have to have? A 4 and an x and an x plus 3. All three of those things. So I have that times an x plus 3 over x plus 4 times x plus 3 times 7x over x plus 3 equals 4x plus 3 all times 23 over 4. Okay, this looks like a good time. Who can tell me what cancels over here? Only the x, right? So what do I have to do? I can distribute the 4 through here and then FOIL, or I can FOIL and then worry about the 4 out there. Can you guys FOIL that together real fast? What happens there? I'm just going to leave the 4 for a minute. What's x plus 3 times x plus 3? Plus 3x plus 3x would be 6x, right? 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, plus what do we have back here? 4x times 7x would be 28x squared. And over here, all that divides out is the 4. So I'm going to rewrite this. There's a 23 and an x plus 3. Since I have some distributing to do on the left, I won't do it on the right quite yet, just till I get it all simplified here. All right. So I have 4x squared plus 24x plus 36 plus 28x squared equals 23x squared plus, that's 69x, guys. Lovely. If I just combine like terms, still got to make it equal 0, right? Is that 9, guys? Did I subtract that right? Yeah. 45. Oh, amen. What can we do now? Yeah, we can throw a 9 away because we can divide it into the 0 as well. So we'll just get an x squared minus 5x plus 4, which makes it factor how? Only factors of 4 are 4 and 1 or 2 and 2. Does that work? Minus 4 minus 1 or not? Okay, so I have x equals 4 or 1. I don't remember even what the original denominator was. What were the restrictions here? X cannot be 0 or negative 3. Does it matter that there was a 4 down here? If I plugged back in a 4, I'd have over 4 and over 7. If I plugged back in a 1, I'd have over 1 and over 4. Those aren't going to make the denominator 0, so we could go back and check them for fun if we wanted, but I'm going with it works. What do you think? Ugh. That's why I use a mouse, as I can't do that. Everybody okay? All right, now we're going to try an application, and then we have a graphing one. You have some graphing ones on your homework, so don't fall asleep yet. It says we're to find the surface area of a box whose volume is 625 cubic inches. All right, x is a side length of the square base. So this base is x by x. I don't know the height. What else do I know though? How do you find volume of a box? Length times width times height equals volume, right? If it's a box. So I have 625 equals x times some unknown height. How could I get the height all by itself? Because that's the only thing I know right now. So I need to mush this around so that I have an expression for height. How could you solve that for height? Come on, guys, wake up. Put the phones away. How do I get the height by itself? Divide by an x squared to get rid of both of those x's. So this height here is 625 over x squared. Now we're supposed to do the surface area. Okay, who remembers anything about surface area? What is the surface of this box made up of? If I were to unwrap it, there's 4 rectangles, and the top and bottom are, what did we write over here? They're both squares, aren't they? Because it's this space right here is x times x. Right, so this square is x by x. This square is x, 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 but what is this right here? Which is one of those guys, so 625 over x squared. Everybody good? All right, so how do we add that all up for our surface area? What's the area of this one? X times x is x squared, and there's how many of them? There's 2 of those, right? Area. Not perimeter, area. X times x is x squared, and there's 1 here and 1 here. Okay. Now, we got 2 choices, guys. We can find the area of one of these and multiply it by 4, or we can pretend it's one giant rectangle. Does anybody care? Let's just do one of them. I think that'll make more sense to you. What is the area of this side right here? It's x times, that's 625 over x squared, right? That's that blue one right here, or it's this one right in here. And how many of those are there? 4? Anybody awake? Okay. We are supposed to write the function as a quotient of 2 functions. Quotient means we need a giant division problem. Okay, remember the section that I said on the quiz? It's going to have both equation solving and expression simplifying. We need to be able to add these together, so we need a common denominator. Now, before we do anything crazy, can we simplify this? What's 4 times 625? 2,500. And if this x is on top and this x squared is on the bottom, what could happen? Yeah, one of these could divide out one of those and we'd have over x. Okay, but it says we're supposed to have quotient of 2 functions. This is a function, we need one function on top and one on the bottom. So if I gave you this as a question, to said simplify into 1 fraction, what's the common denominator? Does this have a denominator? Well, it has a 1, right? What would we need to multiply by so that we could add them together? If I multiply this by an x over x, what does it become? 2x cubed over x plus 2,500 over x. Can I then add them together? The top becomes 2x cubed plus 2,500 all over x. Okay, so that's what they want here for part A. 2x cubed plus 2,500 all over x. Part B says find the side length of the base when the surface area is. So we are supposed to solve this by setting it equal to 512.5. Okay, is it going to be nice if I multiply the x over to this side? Can we solve? No, it's still a mess because it has a cubed, right? So we're going to go straight to our friend, Mr. Graphing Calculator. Any ideas? What do you want to do with that? Holy moly. Well, you're thinking, I'm going to do some clearing out. Okay. What did we have? 20, I don't even remember, guys. 2x cubed? 2x cubed plus 2,500? Was that straight up 2,500, guys? Whoa! That was bad. What's happening here? Okay. And it is divided by an x, right? Okay. And we want it to equal what? 512.5? Does that make sense? Can I put some of it in y1 and the rest, the other side of the equation in y2, and then I'm just looking for what? The intersection. All right. What about a window? No, the standard one isn't going to work. Actually, we could do a Zoom 6, but then after we did that, because we need to know the Y has to go up how far. Yeah, so you could just go back to the window. Otherwise, you could try that Zoom Fit once you've picked your X's. I don't know that we're going to see I don't think we're going to in this X window, honestly. But at least we'll see something. Oh my. Yeah, I don't think Zoom Fit was our best friend. Do we need this much window? I'm going to go back to like negative 1,000 to 1,000. Ugh, forgot the negative. All right, anybody find the point of intersection? I think there's only one, isn't there? Apparently I'm not on the curve, so it's not happy. There we go. Enter, enter, enter. Oh, that's a lovely number. Did anybody else get 5.54 garbage? Okay. So what is the side length of the base to get a surface area of this? Our answer would just be approximately 5.54 inches on each side. So the base would be 5.54, 5.54, and then if we wanted, we could plug it back in there to figure out the height. Does this intersect again if we go out further? I'm a little leery. I don't want to run out of time to do that last question, but I feel like it might. Does it go out? Is it coming back up? If my window were to go out to 40 on my X, there is another one out there. 12.5? That one's a little bit nicer even, huh? The reason I was thinking that is because I think there's the base could be bigger and the height shorter, or the height taller and the base shorter to get the same volume and surface area. All right, so you want me to put that one on the next quiz? Or not? All right, so see if you can find the solutions to this. I want everybody to try this on their graphing calculator, because it's going to take me 20 minutes just to type it in. So you guys see if you can find it faster than me. Don't forget a bunch of parentheses. What's happening? Do I have the top typed in right at least, guys? Oh no. Darn it. Now is that the top? Or no? I don't even have that right. Okay, over x cubed plus 6. And what am I supposed to hit it? It's supposed to hit what? 8. I'm just going to hit graph and see what I get. Oh, that's not good. Actually, I only need it to go up to 8, so I'm just going to put negative 10 to 10 here, or not. Darn it. Anybody find an answer? I got 2 answers right there. Yes? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and find those in just a second, but just because you guys are going to race out the door when the bell rings. The homework assignment, guys, is these few questions, okay? Not very many. Remember, we're supposed to be doing homework this week so we can challenge Abruzzo's class and so that our next quiz scores are much, much, much better. So for Friday, you need to be making sure whether you're ready for a retake on 2.2 and 2.3. Very few of you did really well on both of those, but I will have that information for you tomorrow, okay? Okay. 10.05, did someone get that? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Like already.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
But what ones are we already retaking as a class? Because then I'll just wait for that. If that's okay.
Really should just take it all so that you know, because you're gonna regret not trying it once so that you know what you know. Okay.
Okay. I can do that.
Yep. Okay.